Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Daniel James, and as always, if you're new here, welcome. Before we dive into today's episode, I have a question for you. What does a medieval castle and protecting your mental health have in common? Stick with me as I dive into the answer. And if you take any value from today's episode, just share it with that one person in your life that you think may need to hear this. So, medieval castles. I want you to picture those old school medieval castles that we see in all the movies, and I want you to imagine it being attacked. That's kind of what it's like when you're struggling with depression, when you're struggling with anxiety, panic attack, whatever mental health issues that you struggle with. That's like a medieval castle being under siege. And under siege is essentially when bad guys are coming to take that castle from you, and it's just a constant barrage. They've got their trebuchets, they're just throwing everything at you, cannon fire, whatever it can be to try and destroy your castle. Now, at that time, you're not trying to rebuild the castle as it's being attacked. What you're trying to do is just win the battle. You're just trying to get through by doing whatever it is that you can to survive. Now, this is where people kind of get it wrong. Because when they're struggling with their mental health, they're almost trying to rebuild their defenses while they're still being attacked. Now, just think of the castle analogy. You wouldn't be trying to rebuild walls and fix things to any extent while it's still being attacked. Yes, maybe you're doing the odd patchwork here and there, but it's a really quick fix. You're not trying to do anything else with it. And that's the difference. Any things you are doing, they are quick fixes, and they are not actually rebuilding the defenses. So when we are struggling, and we're doing these quick fixes to try and get us through whatever it may be. We maybe start journaling, maybe doing some breath work, maybe start exercising again. We may just do something when we're in the midst of this mental health thing we're struggling with to just try and hold on a bit more. And then what happens is we start to feel a little bit better. We get out of this battle, things calm down, and then what do? We stop doing that thing that helped us feel good. Now, at that moment in time, we were just using it to just a random patch-up job. We weren't actually fixing anything. We were just covering up the things that were going wrong. But it was helping a little bit. The time to rebuild your defenses is not when you're being attacked. It's when you aren't under attack. So just like that medieval castle, and just like you when you're going through whatever it is you're going through, don't stop doing the thing that you were doing when the battle's over. That thing you were doing, that was the start. When you're just patching up the things, that was the start. But now you actually have to rebuild the castle now the battle's over. You don't stop. But how many times have you done that? I know full well that I have. You start to do something, you start to feel great, and then you stop doing it. Or how many times have you been on a diet? And as soon as you get that first belt notch down, guess what? You stop doing it. You think the battle's won. No, that's when it starts. The hard work actually starts after the battle. And just like with the castle analogy, the hard work starts when the battle's over because you've got to rebuild. But here's the thing. You don't rebuild the castle back to how it was. You rebuild the defenses stronger. You rebuild the defenses better. You're rebuilding it to reinforce the weaknesses that have been discovered. Maybe the enemy tried to get in the backside of the castle and there was some weakness there and some of them got in. Okay, I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen again. You double down when you're not in the battle, when you come out of that depressive episode, when you come out of that panic attack, when you come out of that anxious episode that you're under. That is when you rebuild the defenses stronger. You actually figure out what happened. You're reflecting. How did this happen? That's when you get stronger. That's when you rebuild your castle up better and stronger. But no one wants to go through that. We kind of think, oh no, that's too much. I don't want to go there again. No, you have to. This is the thing that's going to take you from having these episodes where, it can cripple you for an hour, a week, days, months, whatever it is, to you just really try and figure it out. Because once you rebuild these defenses stronger, next time, it's going to take more to knock you off. And when it comes to the mental health stuff, when it comes to, well, how do we rebuild the defenses? This is really doing the inner work. So building that castle back up again, reinforcing that castle, building our defenses up. What we're talking about here is doing the inner work. It's doing all that stuff that you know that you should be doing, but you avoid. Why is it you're struggling? What causes you to go into this headspace? What affects your mental health? And again, we're not talking here about the people that have got issues with their neurotransmitters, like the brain chemistry. We're not talking about people with brain chemistry issues here. We're talking about people where life knocks them off. life causes them to have depression, anxiety attacks, panic attacks. That's what we're talking about here. Because life is always going to be lifing. We have to build our defenses stronger and understand what were our weaknesses. Why did this happen? But people don't want to do that because it's hard. Just like rebuilding a castle is hard. Imagine how hard it is to rebuild a castle after it's been destroyed. But at least a castle has a blueprint. We don't have blueprints. But I promise you, if you take the time to carry on doing that thing that helped you get through that battle, but you double down on it and start to then explore other things that you can do to help you, I promise the next time it will not affect you as much because you're building your defenses stronger. And when you can build those defenses stronger, guess what you also build? You also build taller towers, which means you can see the enemy coming in advance, which means you can start to notice when your mental health's getting rocked a little bit, which means you can batten down the hatches, you can double down on certain things. You can ask yourself, ooh, I'm feeling a certain way, what do I need? This is what I mean when I say we need to build our defenses. But we don't build our defenses when we're being attacked. We come through the battle, and in that calm is when we take the time to work on ourselves. We do the things that we know we need to do to help us. We reach out for help. We get support. You're not the only one that's going through the thing you're going through. There are people out there. There are resources out there. There's podcasts just like this that will help you get through and navigate building those defenses. Don't suffer in silence, and don't stop doing the thing that you were doing in that battle that got you through. Double down on it. Do more of it. I hope this episode added some value to you. As I said at the start, if you know one person that you think could benefit from hearing from this, don't forget to share it with them and give us a thumbs up. Until next time, take it easy.